It's a new month, movie fans, with new offers you can't refuse. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and this week's choices all fit right in. In reality, it was easy to find films on the subject because so many stories touch on it. I mean, pretty much every villain is a villain because of mental health issues. And if it's bad guys you're looking for, I've got a doozy. This one spends most of the movie watching Richard Gere from behind bars in primal fear. Edward Norton plays Aaron, a man accused in a high-profile murder. His attorney never stops believing his client's innocence, only to find there's more to Aaron than meets the eye. In fact, a whole other personality. Norton gives an amazing performance, and you may not get it through 99% of the movie, but by the end, you'll know what I'm talking about. This movie is as much about the man on trial as it is the man representing him. A warning of what trauma can do to a person, and a reminder the justice system isn't perfect, just like the human mind. The best line is from the attorney. He says, "I choose to believe not all crimes are committed by bad people, and I try to understand some very, very good people do some very bad things." Next, Jake Gyllenhaal has something to say in Donnie Darko. Donnie has problems. He has visions, mostly of a grown man named Frank dressed as a rabbit. Hey, Roadhouse. Which seems bizarre, but through the magic of science fiction and understanding of Donnie's struggle, it all makes sense, I promise. But the confusion is the fun, wondering if what's happening is just in the main character's head or if he's actually part of something bigger. It's a mad world. This cult classic from 2001 is out there, but it's brilliant and sensitive to the human condition. My favorite line is Frank's when Donnie asks him why he's wearing that stupid bunny suit. He says, "Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?" And we're fading into dinner time when feeding a baby broccoli is just as difficult as understanding our emotions in Inside Out. Open wide, there's a lot to learn here. All the basic human emotions are given a character inside the subconscious of a young girl. Fear, joy, disgust, sadness, they're all here, and anger's on the way. They each get their chance at the controls, throwing back in our face any justification for compartmentalizing or suppressing. My favorite line is from Anger when he sees pizza with broccoli on it. He says, "Congratulations, San Francisco, you've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians and now you." And I brought in somebody who has seen Inside Out and knows a whole lot about the subject matter, Dr. Michael Nador from the psychology department at MSU. Doc, what did you think of Inside Out? What did you take away from it?
It's such a great movie because there's so many layers. And one of the most important messages you can get from it is that you have to have balance. You can't have all one or the other because then things fall apart. But you need to have that balance. And sometimes in that balance, you understand just how good things really are.
Right, and we saw with all the characters in that movie, they had to give sadness her day, her chance to have a say in things and to feel things. And kids, adults, we all need that too.
We do. How can you appreciate a beautiful day if you've never seen rain?
Right.
Yeah, and some people find rain beautiful, of course, but you have to have that balance. You have to have the full spectrum. And I think it really beautifully points that out. And also it helps us keep realistic expectations. You don't want to always be happy. You know, you feel like you do, but it actually really takes away from the experience of happiness if that's all you had. So having those range, having a bad day every now and again, is actually desirable.
Yes, yes. And one thing I really liked about the movie too is that they chose to use the emotions of a little girl. And I feel like that helped us be a little bit more compassionate towards what's going on. And maybe as adults, we have a little bit of a harder time embracing our emotions, and it's easier for us to see it in a child.
Absolutely. And we all remember in childhood where emotions are so strong. And yeah, it helps bring us back to that because in adulthood we like to think that we're past our emotions, that we are more rational.
Right.
But really our emotions are there for a reason, and they can help guide that rationality. So it's good to focus on that too, and not just ignore those emotions, not just put them on the side or try to totally separate, because they do sometimes tell you things. They do often guide and impact behavior. It's good to be anxious when you have a bear chasing you.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. I hadn't thought about that. And when we're talking about mental health awareness, do you think that plays into making kids aware and parents too? Is that a big part of it?
I think it's really important that it's awareness across the lifespan. It's realizing that emotions are going to be there. They're good things. The range is good across the lifespan. You should be upset sometimes. You should be happy sometimes. and just normalizing that for adults and kids alike. One of the things that unfortunately we went through recently is we lost one of our dogs, and having those emotions was really also helpful for my daughter to model it's okay to try. It's okay to have that and experience that.
And sometimes it is easier for kids to embrace those emotions than adults, because we figure that we've got to be tough and we've got to be the center of everything that's strong in the world, but we can't always be that way.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want to say about Mental Health Awareness Month?
Just so excited that you're doing this, and there's more and more focus on mental health. I'm thankful for it, and there are so many resources that are out there that we can help link you with if you need help. So don't hesitate to reach out. Don't worry about cost. We can help you find things you can afford.
And there's always people to talk to.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Nadorf. And here's where you can stream this week's choices. Primal Fear is on Showtime and Paramount Plus. Donnie Darko's on HBO Max, and you can find Inside Out, of course, on Disney Plus. And that's this week's watch list. For more of my movie recommendations, hit up our spot on WCBI.com. I'll be back next week with 3 more. Until then, as always, leave the criticism, take the cannoli.